I love some of these places. Some of the biggest website sites that talk about Nashville worked for me before they went out on their own and became what they are now. I just put a poll up on my Twitter, twitter.com/Nashville Hype. And the poll says, or asks, should I be George W. Bush, the kinder, more gentler version of the Nashville Hype, or should I continue to be what I was originally known for, which was kind of the Simon Cowell of Nashville and Nashville Hype? And the reason this came up was, if you watched a couple of videos ago, I kind of went after Kane Brown. Only for the one song that I've ever heard of him. I've not heard any other songs. And since that video, which was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I'm not even sure when the video was, I've still not taken the time to watch anything or listen to any more songs that he has. I just know that that one song with Marshmello is terrible. And so I said so. I got a lot of feedback about that. Yeah, it just is what it is. But I have friends that work with him, and they handle his career, managers, attorneys, the whole, publisher. Like, I know a lot of people that actually work with him, and so I did get some feedback privately, which, I always appreciate, for voicing my opinion about how terrible that song was, and about his career and things of that nature. And a lot of that video also had a lot to do with the Opry, which brings me to a second thing that happened. Last week, or I think of last week, Bryan was on the Grand Ole Opry, and it was the Susan G. Komen Turn the Opry Pink event. He was terrible. Terrible. Like, his performance was, what are you, like 8 years old? Anyway, I don't want to get into what I said about that in this video, because this video is not about repeating what I said on the Facebook page or my personal Facebook page or anything. I thought it was terrible, and I said so. And I got some pushback. And in this instance, it was from a friend of mine that I've known for a very long time, as a songwriter. And, his comment was just, Luke is a cool dude. And I don't doubt that. And for whatever reason, just having this particular person kind of clap back in such a nice way, it made me think, maybe I am too harsh on people. I mean, just because I have a thought, do I need to say it? Do I have to say it? Or could I be a kinder, more gentler, if you will, Nashville Hype? It's the Nashville Hype, the kinder, gentler Nashville Hype. I don't know. I mean, I'm torn about it, because if you read the blogs of Nashville and the other websites of Nashville, and maybe the podcast and the other shows and web pages, they're all rah, nothing's real. They're trying so hard to maintain their press credentials, I guess, I don't know, so that they can keep going to events and they don't get and I wouldn't want to get blacklisted or not invited to things either. And I still get invited just about every day. Every other day I get an invite to this show or that show or this, I don't want that to stop. I would rather it not stop, because I say something, an opinion, or voice an opinion that might hurt somebody's feelings or be against what is trying to happen, or the machine, or the industry, or anything like that. But I don't know. His comment, the comment that I got back from this friend of mine, it really did give me a little bit of pause, just to say, do I really need to say everything that I think? So I might try and split the difference. Yeah, I might try and say what I think without mentioning a name, like somebody's name. I saw this event the other day. It was terrible. You know, that's going to be very hard to do. Um, First of all, and then at the same time, if I hear a new artist, which Nashville Hype was known back a while back anyway, for finding artists. I mean, that's what made the site successful. That and going after the industry and attacking the industry in a way that no one else had the will to do. And so I don't know. Point about that is I want to listen to artists and music, and especially if I'm sent something in the email or on Facebook or wherever, Twitter, and somebody says, "Hey, listen," expect something real back, a real critique. I'm not. I have never in my entire life been or taken it easy on artists or songs or songwriting or anything else that has anything to do with ears in Nashville. And I think part of that is what made Nashville, the original Nashville Hype, very successful. And I don't want to change that at all. And I'm not going to change that. If you send me a song or somebody sends me a song, your manager, publisher, whoever it is, and says, "Hey, I'm interested in what you had to say about this," I'll listen to the song and I'll give you a real opinion. So there's that, you know, but at the same time, do I need to be talking about Luke? His thing was terrible, okay? Like, his performance was not on par with a guy that's been in the business for 20 years or whatever. Very industry-led artist, in my opinion. Once again, my opinion. I don't know. Was I too hard on Luke? Too hard on Kane Brown? You know, a couple of videos ago, even the Kane Brown video, I said apologies to John Rich because I was hard on him, and Vince Gill and others. You know, I was hard on them, and I don't know if it's just built into my personality or if it's I feel the need because no one else will do it. Like, these other places are not going to do it, and that's not to knock them. I love some of these places. Some of the biggest sites that talk about Nashville worked for me before they went out on their own and became what they are now. And I love those people. I love those sites. I check in on a pretty regular basis. And you know, so it's not to slam them either. But I don't think that they're actually going to tell it like it is, or tell it like they feel like it is. Back in the day, I didn't have this idea of, well, we'll just keep it all positive and rah. No, if I wanted to hammer somebody, I had a platform in which to hammer someone. Artists, labels, managers. This one girl in particular who was terrible, and like she was like the big money girl of this one record label, and I was like, why in the world are you wasting your money on this? And it went nowhere. I think I have a record of 100. You know, I don't know. But, you know, that's the question on Twitter. So it's Twitter/Nashville Hype. I'm going to leave the poll up for a few days just to see if anybody even clicks on it. I don't know anybody that sees anything on Twitter. I barely see anything on Twitter. So is anybody seeing my stuff on Twitter? I have no idea. Same with Facebook. Like all the social media stuff, I don't even rely on it. I put it out there. If you watch it, you watch it. Just like this video. If you see it, I hope you do. I hope you share it, like it, comment on it, send it to your friends, let everybody know that this is part of the discussion in Nashville. I don't know who's going to see it or who's not going to see it, but it's twitter.com Nashville Hype, and there's a poll on there. Do I become George W. Bush, a kinder, more gentler Nashville Hype, or do I, kind of stay the Simon Cowell? And I didn't put a number 3 on there, but I guess the difference would be, do I be nicer and yet still stay Simon when it comes to listening to other artists and stuff? But I don't even know how that works, because if I don't like Luke Bryan and his performance at the Opry, and I say so, then why listen to some new artist or new songwriter and still not say what it is that I need to say or want to say or feel like is important to say at the time? I mean, I just don't want to be neutered. You know, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to fire the old Nashville hype back up, I don't want to be neutered in what I want to do or what I feel like I need to say. And so that's the question. That's what I'm asking you on here. You can leave a comment below and let me know. You can tell me that I'm completely wrong about Luke Bryan and the whole thing, or Kane Brown, or whoever. You know, I mean, Nashville hype is not about go after, go after, go after. It's just about being honest. It's about telling people truthfully what it is that I think about it, having grown up in the industry and been around it my entire life. And, you know, I've done 1,000 million things in the industry or whatever. And so that's what it's always been about. I just don't know whether or not, and I should just, you know, settle it down a little bit. And, you know, the old saying, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. You let me know. Is it worth saying anything? If you see a bad performance, hear a bad song, don't agree with what the industry is doing, you know, should I silence my own voice? I don't know. It's all things that I've been debating and thinking about ever since my friend said, you know, like, Luke is a good guy. I am sure Luke is a great guy. I've seen videos that I really approved of where he's got fans from the audience on stage with him and they're dancing, and, you know, he brings up kids and they're all having fun, and he does a lot. I'm sure he does a lot of good things. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But, you know, my comments about him was not to knock his personality. It was to basically knock his entire career. And so, I don't know. Am I sorry about that? I don't know. I got some other comments that were like, you know, everybody gets stage fright or something of that around that nature. And, you know, not even publicly. I got some, you know, like privately, you know, what are you doing? You can't attribute that to being scared on stage after 20 years career. It's exactly what I said it was. It was a terrible performance, and there's no way around it. I mean, you know, people, sometimes I just think, stop making excuses for people. You know, the guy shouldn't have had a career to begin with. He was completely corporate. He was industry made. He was nothing, and he became something, and 20 years later, they're giving him awards for what? Okay, so I can't say that. That's way too harsh. That's way over the top. That's way too honest in the society that we live in now. And so the kinder, gentler would be for me to not say anything at all. Except for he's a really good guy. And I don't doubt the friend that said Luke's a good guy. I totally believe it. 100%. So if you have the old Twitter fired up, go over to twitter.com/NashvilleHype. And fill out the poll. And if you don't do that, leave a comment in the comments below, and just let me know, you know, what you think. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of playing around and toying around right now, trying to figure it out one day at a time and one post at a time, and, you know, just to see what I want to do, because I'm really not sure. But hope you have a good day, a good week, good night, and I appreciate you watching.